Hello and welcome to Moore Park College News. I'm your host, Misha. Later in our program, we'll be talking with Stephen Pope, the lead writer of a highly anticipated tabletop role-playing game that celebrates LGBTQ+ cultures and themes of acceptance and empathy. We'll also give the latest updates on a wildlife bridge being built over the 101 freeway that could save the lives of countless animals once finished. But first, here are your headlines. A local Moore Park resident was honored with an induction into the Radio Hall of Fame earlier this November. Reverend Walt Shaw, better known by his on-air nickname Baby Love, was hosted 3 syndicated radio programs over a 35-year career in syndicated broadcast, including The Countdown, a top 40 radio program that aired for 29 of those years. Originally from Pennsylvania, Baby Love was one of the first on-air black radio announcers to hit the airwaves in 1968 and broke down the color barrier at RKO Radio. Here now is an excerpt from his acceptance speech at the Radio Hall of Fame ceremony on November 1st.
I told Jesus a long time ago, I said, Jesus, you know, the day that I'm actually inducted into the Radio Hall of Fame, I'm going to shout you out. You've taken me from Creighton, Pennsylvania to Southeast Asia and back and in this crazy business. And some places I worked, when I walked in the door and they saw somebody look like me, some of the other personalities didn't particularly care for it. I'm not going to tell you what they said. But as Donnie told you, I sort of had to speak to them privately and work things out about that my name was Walt Baby Love as opposed to something else. So it all worked out well.
Nowadays, Reverend Shaw keeps himself busy with running a cancer and lupus research foundation, as well as with a nationally syndicated Sunday gospel broadcast each week. With the cost of average Netflix subscriptions soaring 25% in the last 2 years, the streaming service now has a cheaper ad-supported option. The Basic with Ads plan launched in the United States earlier this month and costs $6.99 a month. The plan also severely limits your TV shows that you can watch. You're also stuck streaming to only one device at a time, so say goodbye to borrowing mom and dad's password. I guess you get what you pay for after all. Our viewers today will be happy to know that our broadcast is offered free of charge with ads, so stay tuned for those. 48,000 union academic workers across the University of California campuses have walked off the job this month, calling for better benefits and pay. This represents the largest academic strike in the history of the United States as campus teaching staff take to the picket lines. This has caused many classes to be indefinitely postponed and many of the campuses to outright close the doors on students during critical final exams. Workers are demanding big pay increases, subsidies for childcare and family leave, among other benefits. But after 2 weeks of strikes and negotiations, the two sides are still no closer to a resolution. Here's our own Brian Haskell with more on this story.
Tens of thousands of academic employees in the University of California system are still on strike Monday, with the work stoppage entering its second week.
We're just trying to get something that matches the cost of living for wages so that people aren't rent burdened, people aren't living in their cars, people can afford housing. I mean, this is a public institution. It's supposed to be for the people, by the people, but it's putting their people in worse conditions than they were when they started.
Though the UC system compensates many academic staff with subsidized or free university housing and boarding, many union workers say they're on the breaking point of poverty, having to choose between their standard of living and fulfilling their academic goals.
And for folks like me who don't come from generational wealth, I'm first generation and I identify as a Chicana. We know what it means to fight for what we deserve, fight for a better future.
But with university professors struggling to keep classes running during the strike, and semester exams already underway, some students feel stuck between supporting the unions and salvaging their own impacted academic plans.
I support them, I support their actions, and I feel like they should be compensated for the work that they do, but I mean, it is affecting our education as a whole. Like, we can't get help as much anymore. It's difficult to reach out to professors because they're trying to handle everything. Like, for example, my bio lab, my professor had to teach it instead of TAs, so they have to like fill in those slots.
According to United Auto Workers, which represents a quarter of the strikers, UC has proposed wage increases that union leaders say are far from the $54,000 base salary they believe is fair for graduate student workers. Their current salary averages about $24,000 annually, after money is taken out to pay for their university housing. However the strike goes from here, it's clear that both sides have a long way to go before they can reach an understanding. For the Moorpark Reporter Online, I'm Brian Haskell.
Strikers and UC system representatives have both agreed to bring in a neutral third party to lead the deadlocked negotiations. All parties hope to reach an agreement as soon as possible to end the strike. Coming up after the break, we'll be speaking with Stephen Pope, the lead writer of a highly anticipated and soon-to-be-released tabletop role-playing game called Queers. Should be interesting. Stay tuned.
Are you like me and love chocolate? Well, this craveable milk chocolate bar is perfect for when you're having a sweet tooth. This assortment of milk, dark, and 72% cocoa Belgian chocolates are made with only the highest quality ingredients: sugar, cocoa butter, natural vanilla, and more. When you can't live another second without chocolate, experience this wonderful melt-in-your-mouth indulgence.
Embrace your inner chocolatier today and pick up some of the world's greatest chocolate.
Hi, welcome, Stephen. For those of us who don't know, can you tell us what a tabletop role-playing game is?
Sure. A tabletop role-playing game is similar to Dungeons & Dragons, where one person runs the board and creates the story, and everyone controls the character that gets to kind of muscle their way through.
Cool. Then can you tell me, what is Queers about, and like who is it for?
So Queers is a celebration of everything in the LGBTQI community that really, basically, if you are part of the community, you get Power Ranger powers, and it is delightful and silly and very camp.
That is fantastic. Why do you think this game is so important right now?
Oh, God. Considering everything going on right now, like at Club Q out in Colorado and everything, right now we need heroes, and we need people to feel like they can be heroes and things can get better, and that's why I was very honored to be part of this game.
Absolutely. Where can people go to learn more about and support Queers?
Right now, you can check out cityofmist.co. That's CITYMIST. There's an OF in the middle of that, I apologize, .co, where you can get all the information there.
Thank you. When we come back, we'll be looking at the latest on a massive project underway to make the 101 freeway safer for wildlife. Stay tuned with us.
Bringing to you with devastation, with death. This bone-tingling seltzer, what your soul needs to boost your mortality. It's terrifyingly hydrating and leaves you feeling refreshed. Creep into your local grocery store and sell your soul for this petrifyingly ghoulish beverage.
Liquid death, merging with thirst.
Welcome back to the program. Behind me is an artist rendition of the Wallace-Annenberg Wildlife Crossing, a massive conservation project that's currently under construction over the 101 freeway at Agora Hills. The $85 million project broke ground on April of this year, and major construction is now underway. Wallace Annenberg, president and chairwoman of the philanthropic Annenberg Foundation, most recently donated $25 million challenge grant to the project in 2021, which spurred more than 3,000. Okay, that's our program for this afternoon.